What's up, YouTube? In today's video, I'm going to be telling you guys why the 6-speed automatic transmission in the ND Miata still makes for a great driver's car. Now, what sparked me to make this video is that my mom picked this car up, I think last week or something like that, and I was watching a bunch of different videos on the automatic transmission Miata NDs since then, and that has sparked me to make this video. Reason being is because I noticed that it was getting a lot of unnecessary hate, and since she's got this car, I've taken it off her hands for 2 days because I wanted to see if it was actually that bad. And where I live, there's a lot of like hilly, anyway, great driving roads. That's what I was trying to say. And with the 6-speed automatic, it's still a lot of fun to drive. Now, the automatic is a great alternative to the manual in the Miata because, and I apologize about the plane noise, because, you know, some people are handicapped, and that's what I was reading in a lot of the videos where people were talking about the automatics and they're talking bad about them. And I saw the comments and people were saying, you know, I'm handicapped, I can't drive a manual. Or in my mom's case, this is her daily driver. She doesn't want to drive a manual every day or something like that. You know what I'm saying? You know, there are a lot of people who don't know how to drive a manual, but they still want a Miata. And when you guys do get the 6-speed automatic ND Miata, you cannot get the limited slip differential, you don't get the Bilstein shocks, and you also do not get the front strut tower brace. However, if you guys are going to be making the ND Miata a race car, you're probably going to want to get the 6-speed manual. But if this is going to be like your grand touring car, or if this is going to be, you know, a fun weekend car and you got old knees or you don't know how to drive a manual, then the 6-speed automatic is a great alternative to those. And in my opinion, I still think that it is a great transmission. Now, I do want to walk you guys around this car because this is my mom's new to her 2020 Mazda Miata RF GT, and this one has been painted in Soul Red, and I'm normally a fan of cars in red. It's just, you know, not my cup of tea. However, this Soul Red is probably one of the most beautiful red painted cars that I've ever seen. This has quickly grown to being my favorite red car, painted red car that I've ever seen. It changes colors in the light. It's just literally one of the nicest reds that I've ever seen. But I also just like the design on the ND Miatas. They look muscular, they look aggressive. I love the wheel design that comes standard with the ND Miata. These are standard wheels, and this is her 2020 Mazda Miata RF GT. RF stands for retractable fastback, which means that she has the hardtop convertible variant of the Miata, and this is the GT, which is basically the fully loaded trim level for the ND Miata. Now, this thing basically comes fully loaded. The real only option that she has, or that has been optioned on this car, is the red paint. It's like a $600 option, and in my opinion, I think it is worth it. But you guys can see, you kind of have like that really cool design here in the back with the RF. I like this thing way better, in my opinion, than the soft top Miatas. Now, one thing that's really cool is that when you drop the top, you get this black piece that comes across, and the black really accents the red very, very nicely, in my personal opinion. Now, since she's gotten this car, she has done a few things like the black license plate cover, as well as she got the stubby antenna. That was my suggestion because I think that looks way better than the, you know, weird looking long antenna that you get with the ND Miatas as standard. But again, I just want to do a little quick walk around of this thing. It does recommend 93 octane. However, you can run it on 87 unleaded. Now, one thing that's kind of cool on the ND Miatas is that at the top of the door panel, you have the body color accent like trim piece, which is really cool. So if you guys get a blue, then this is going to be in blue, but obviously if you get the red, that's in red. And then she's got the beige interior. So this thing kind of reminds me of like the Mercedes SLKs with the red and this color interior. I think it looks pretty cool, and this matches my mom very, very nicely. So again, this is the 6-speed auto variant of the ND Miata, and that is what it looks like. From what I've seen, this has been getting a lot of hate. Now, I do want to take you guys on a ride, and I want to show you guys that, yes, it's, you know, it's not the most responsive automatic transmission that you've ever been in. However, you kind of got to understand it to have a little bit of fun with it. So once you start understanding the transmission and the transmission understands you, it's a lot of fun to drive. Now, you know, I've been blabbling along this whole video, but I do want to show you guys now why the 6-speed auto is a great transmission. So let's skip into the drive now. The way to have a little bit of fun in the 6-speed automatic variant of the ND Miata is to put it into drive and then push it into manual mode and then put it into sport mode. Now, the last thing you got to do is you got to put the top back and open up the top. However, I'm not going to do that at the moment because I know that that is going to affect the audio quality, so I'm not going to mess with that. But let's pull out onto the road here and we'll have a little bit of fun. Now, I do want to show you guys that the response time of the paddles is actually pretty decent. So we'll get on it a little bit. Pull. Pull. So again, it's not the most responsive transmission in the world, but it's still a lot of fun to drive. Now, it'll hold gears, it'll bring you up to red line, it's not gonna shift for you. And one thing that I've really learned to enjoy about the Miatas is their power band. The power band is a lot of fun in the Miata, and this is not the fastest thing in the world. This thing is not here to set records, but you can see I'm gonna downshift. Downshifts are pretty good. And you can just feel it building power. Man, it's a lot of fun to drive. I'm gonna do a U-turn here because I wanted to go the opposite way, but then that Subaru Outback was there, so I wanted to put a little bit of distance in between us. And here we go. One thing I've kind of learned about the automatic is that if you are in manual mode, it doesn't want you to shift really manually anywhere below 3,000 RPM. So that's something that I've learned. You try to shift it and it's not gonna shift. But again, transmission is really good. And what makes this thing so much fun to drive is the top-down experience and the power band. Now, again, you don't have to have the fastest car in the world to have a lot of fun, and this car is exactly that. It's not the fastest thing in the world. However, if it's just you in the car, you get the top down, and you're messing with the paddle shifters, and you feel that power build, it is really a lot of fun. It's such a fun driving experience. And the videos that I was watching is where people, they were reviewing the automatic variant of the Miata, and they were really just poo-pooing on it. And I was like, I got to make a video showing that it's really not as bad as these people are talking about. Now, is it going to be as fun as the manual? In my opinion, I think it can be. For those of you guys who, may not have a left leg, or you don't know how to drive a manual, or you don't really care to learn how to drive a manual, or you want to buy one of these things as your daily driver, and the only way that you're going to get one is to get it in the automatic. You can still have a lot of fun even with the automatic. Now, feel that power build. These are the kinds of roads that this thing is meant to go on. It literally feels like you're driving a go-kart. Revs so high, revs to 7,500 RPM. And again, it's not the fastest thing in the world, but it's so much fun because it's so light. It's like 2,400 pounds, and it's got 181 horsepower, which is more than enough. If you guys need more power, you guys can go and strap a supercharger, strap a turbo on it. But even as it sits with this naturally aspirated 4-cylinder, it's still a ton of fun to drive, especially on these twisty roads here. And again, the automatic, you do not get the Bilstein suspension, you do not get the limited slip differential, and you don't get the front strut tower brace, which in my opinion, I would assume that this thing is going to ride better than the manual that has the front strut tower brace, because that's just going to stiffen up the suspension. Whereas this, you can see, look how it just rips, man. It is a lot of fun. It looks like we just shifted onto not the greatest road. So I'm gonna do a U-turn here, and I'm gonna try to find us a good road before we end out the video. Here, we're gonna go on this on-ramp, and this is where the Miata shines, is around turns like this. This obviously got a little bit of body roll because it's not really modified or anything like that, but it's just so much fun to go around turns like this. I mean, and then we'll do a little acceleration on the highway. And this kind of acceleration is really not what the Miata's built for, but even then, we're growing up to 80 mile an hour here in Mexico. I'm not going to show you guys that road sign, but really it just accelerates very well. And I was trying to find some cool driving roads, and I'm still going to try to find some driving roads here. Just the automatic transmission, you can still have a lot of fun. So don't worry about watching all those other videos with these other reviewers who are poo-pooing on the automatic, and they're like, you can only get the manual here. And another thing is, for those of you guys who are like, no, you can only get the manual in the Miata, No, you can also get the automatic, and you guys are gonna be like, well, you're an automatic lover, and I'm gonna tell you guys right now, no, I'm not. I have a 2010 Camaro SS, obviously with the V8, and I have a 6-speed, it's a 6-speed manual transmission. So I do drive a manual as one of my fun cars, but I can still have a lot of fun in an automatic. So I don't want you guys to think that I'm just an automatic lover and a manual hater, because I'm not. I love the manual, and obviously, you know, the manual is going to be a lot of fun here in the ND Miatas as well. You know, if that's what you guys are going for, you know, if you guys want something that you're not going to drive, or maybe you will drive it every day with the manual, but there are a lot of people out there who, you know, don't want to drive a manual every day, and you know, even if this is their weekend car, they still don't want to have to drive a manual because they can't, or they just don't want to. It's one of the two, or they don't know how. All right, we'll do a little bit of back road driving here because I know this is a nice little back road, so let's see how she does. Look at these roads. These are Miata roads. Again, the automatic is still a lot of fun to drive. Here comes a nice little turn. You can see the downshift. Pretty responsive, and it's a great downshift. It's not too jerky. This is a nice turning right turn. That's why this thing is so much fun to drive, because you're not going to get in so much trouble with it. You know, we're only going, you know, 60 some miles an hour. Whereas if you guys are in a Camaro, or you guys are in a Mustang with 400 plus horsepower, you guys are gonna be hauling ass down this road. Whereas this, you know, you're just going, you know, a respectable pace. Nothing too fast, but you're still having a lot of fun. And even like, look at the downshifts. Nice downshifts. I mean, I gotta admit, they break you and slow you down. Nice little turn here. Again, guys, this automatic transmission gets a lot of flack for nothing, in my personal opinion. Again, you know, not the most responsive transmission, but it's responsive enough to have fun, okay? So don't listen to what these other people are saying. It's a great transmission. And, you know, again, there's downshifts are really good, you know what I mean? It's not a dual clutch level, you know, downshift, but it's not jerky. It's like rev matches itself. It's a fun little car, but again, I said I wasn't going to do a back roads drive in this video, but we found a nice back road, and it was a little bit empty until right about now. So I did want to give you guys a little bit of behind the wheel of what it was like to drive one of these ND Miatas, you know, on a back road with the automatic transmission. If you guys want to see more back roads driving with the automatic, let me know in the comments down below and I will make it happen. But again, that's it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy the video, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. I'm really trying to hit 10,000 subscribers, and I cannot do that without your guys' help. So I greatly appreciate it if you guys would take a second to give the video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. And one more thing is, you know, this is my mom's Mazda Miata, and if you guys want to see me do like modifying mom's car, I will. So if we do some wheels, we'll do an exhaust. We're not going to do crazy suspension stuff or anything to make this thing any less drivable or any less comfortable to drive every day. But you know, we still could have a little bit of fun with it, you know, adding an exhaust, adding some nicer wheels and tires, maybe doing some tinting, or maybe wrapping the roof, stuff like that. So if that is something that you guys are interested in seeing, or you guys want to see, let me know in the comments down below and I will make that happen. And maybe, just maybe, I can get my mom on video, because she looks like a Barbie driving this thing, and I think you guys would really enjoy her on the channel. I'll do one more little acceleration. But again, that's it for today's video. I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.